before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking a little bit of time to spend a little time with me, your boy KT. As you guys know, the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft was yesterday, depending on when you're watching this video. And we had a lot of interesting things happen in the first round, or just the entire first round of this draft entirely. A lot of interesting things happened. You know, the Jacksonville Jaguars trading up for Travis Hunter, the Browns trading down to take Mason Graham, you know, the Jets taking Armand Menabu at 7, I think. You know, Shedeur Sanders completely falling out of the first round. The Falcons made 2 trades to pick up 2 solid pass rushers. You know, the Giants traded back into the first round to take a quarterback in Jackson Dart. So a lot of things happened in this first round. And for Chicago Bears, they had one of the more interesting picks of the entire draft and one of the most polarizing picks of the entire draft. As you guys know, the Bears were connected or had the number 10 pick in this first round, and they were connected to a multitude of names at that 10th pick. Names like Will Campbell, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, you know, Kelvin Banks, Mykel Williams, tons of names. You know, they were also linked to tons of scenarios in which they were going to trade up or trade down in this first round. That never came to pass. As the picks progressed, the first 9 picks progressed in this first round, it became apparent that the Bears were not going to move off that 10th pick, and a lot of the guys that they kind of wanted, guys like Genty, Campbell, and Banks, were not going to make it to them. They stayed at 10. Now, the players left at 10 when they picked were at least the 2 best players on the board, was Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. Especially the 2 best tight ends of the draft. The Bears decided to take Colston Loveland with the 10th overall pick out of Michigan, tight end out of Michigan, and this was a pick that garnered a lot of, you know, reaction on Twitter and the internet. This was a pick that most people didn't see coming. I have heard that Colston Loveland was making a lot of, you know, he was shooting up the draft boards, and he was going to be a first round pick, but he was really starting to shoot up the draft boards, I think maybe last week. So, you know, the Bears ultimately made the decision to draft him at number 10, right over Tyler Warren, which was not a popular pick at the time that it was announced. A little bit about Colston Loveland is he played at Michigan. He was a Michigan Wolverine, national champion from Gooding, Idaho. He's 6'6", 248 pounds with a 32 inch wingspan and 10-inch hands, man. That dude is a massive dude at tight end. And initially, my reaction to the pick was also not as good as I would have liked. I thought Tyler Warren was going to be the clear pick for them if they were going by best player available, and you know, that didn't happen. When they announced Colston Loveland, I was wondering, like, why would they pick him at number 10? Now that I've had a little bit of time to calm down, and everybody's had a little bit of time to calm down, this pick is starting to look a little bit more and more, you know, palatable, and actually starting to look really good on the surface. Now, Colston Loveland is probably the second best tight end in the coming out of the draft, next to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren fell all the way to 14, so we'll see what that results into. He got drafted by the Colts. But this man was a first team all Big Ten conference in 2023 and second team all Big Ten last year, and was the finalist, one of the finalists for the John Mackey Award, the nation's top tight end award, only losing out to the aforementioned Tyler Warren from Penn State. As the night wore on, as we started to get a lot more information about Colston Loveland and the highlights started to come out, and some people were starting to analyze film about the guy, you know, this guy can play. And I'm starting to warm up to this pick a lot more, as this guy is a straight up match-up nightmare. And you see it on film. A guy who's 6'6" and 248 pounds should not be able to run that fast, and should not be able to run the entire route tree, which is one of his biggest strengths. He is a talented young tight end with the athletic ability and ball skills to become an elite talent as a pass catcher. that was quoted by Lance Zierlein at NFL.com. His NFL comparison, Sam Laporta. And, you know, having a guy like Ben Johnson, who's a former tight end coach in the NFL, a guy who's an elite offensive play caller, and a guy who's known to use tight ends pretty well. Sam Laporta, a guy who's compared to Sam Laporta, definitely feels like a Ben Johnson pick. And what does Sam Laporta do as well? Well, he's able to run the entire route tree. He has good speed. He's able to, you know, blow right past linebackers in coverage. He's able to control his body in midair and make tough catches. He's a talented runner with good vision. All those things specify Sam Laporta, and all those things specify Colston Loveland as well. This guy is an absolute matchup nightmare. He's able to run routes in all three levels, from the short to the medium to the deep routes. He's able to do it all. I've seen this dude run wheel routes. I've seen him run them personally against Ohio State just this past year. So this guy isn't like a bum like people are trying to make it seem. And as the night progressed, a lot of analysts on TV really started to love this pick. And this just feels like a Ben Johnson pick, man. This dude is athletic. He's big. He has a high catch radius. He's able to run every route in the route tree. And with him teaming up with Cole Kmet, since I think Cole Kmet isn't going anywhere with this pick, this is going to make this offense 10 times deadlier. You went out, you fixed your offensive line. You still got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. You know, the back situation is still to be determined, but you have a serviceable back in DeAndre Swift. Of course, you have your quarterback and Caleb Williams. Now you add, you know, a Cole Kmet at that tight end position. Now you add a guy like Loveland, and, you know, that offensive ceiling has just went up. You know, maybe not the best blocker, but there's no doubting that he is probably one of the better receiving tight ends in the draft, if not the best receiving tight end in the draft. There are weaknesses to his game. He may not be the type of all-around talent like Tyler Warren, but he's right there. A lot of analysts had him number 2, and it was by a very, very short margin, and including CBS, who had him ranked number 1. If I'm able to find the article, I will link it down in the description, or I will post it on the screen. Ultimately, my thoughts on this pick, while they weren't great for the first half of the night, as I calmed down, this pick started to look a lot more like a Ben Johnson pick, and he knows what he wants to do with this offense. He wants speed, he wants mismatches, and he wants playmakers on that offense. The Bears drafted a really, really good playmaker coming out in the first round. While it may not have been the pick I might have made, I still would have went with Tyler Warren at 10. This definitely isn't a bad pick. So ultimately, I'm going to give this pick a B- because, while, number 10, you don't usually take tight ends at number 10 like that. The Bears didn't have any pressing needs that needed to be fixed right away. And the way the draft board fell to them with all the tackles and all the running backs, guys like Ashton Jeanty being gone, guys like the defensive lineman that they might have wanted, and Mason Graham being gone, Abdul Carter being gone, the 2 tackles, Campbell and Banks, being gone, the way the draft board fell to them, I think this is one of the better picks that they could have made. And look out, this guy might be a little bit of a steal in the first round. This guy has a lot of talent. I can't wait to see him play. He is recovering from shoulder surgery as well, so he probably won't be ready for OTAs right away. But from what I'm hearing, it's not serious. He will be back in camp when camp starts. So, while not the sexy pick that everybody was wanting previously in leading up to the draft, like a Jeanty or a Campbell or a Warren, this guy definitely has a lot of talent, and I'm gonna be excited to watch a little bit of film on him, a little bit more film, and watch a few more highlights of him and see what he provides for this offense. But first impressions, man, are everlasting, and this guy looks like he has a lot of talent to be that big and run that fast and have that route tree. That's a recipe for success, and I like what Ben Johnson is doing. He's creating a lot of mismatches on that offense. If they're able to get a running back in the second round and they're able to find a way to play him with Cole Kmet, oh, look out, that offense is going to be deadly. But overall, guys, I like the pick. I'm going to give it a B-. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I might go, a little bit more in depth to these guys maybe in another video. But for now, this is just a quick little video to get this up. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you love the pick? Do you not like the pick? Let me know in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. It helps the channel grow. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these NFL draft videos. We have the second round maybe later today. I will get some more videos out depending on who they pick. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, as there's bound to be more discussion about the Bears draft picks. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.